building can receive services from different operators who work at different times, and sometimes the client actually insists on certain times of the day. And of course, it is very good from the client's point of view to choose between different operators, to have the cheapest operator, etc. At the same time, the whole area is crowded with different operators, with the dumping trucks, and of course they compete quite severely. So we would like to have the city divided in certain areas, and each operator should be in charge of certain area of the city, and they should be, of course, divided in an unbiased manner based on a tender, where of course the lowest price should not be given the priority, but rather we should focus on the best quality offer, so that we don't have a noisy waste collecting lorries at 4 o'clock in the morning, and so that we don't have the drivers and operators shouting on the streets, etc. So the next item, which is also very important, as we have so many operators, actually all those who are owners of especially private houses may evade paying for these services, because our municipality cannot control these processes. This means that we want to have a situation where municipality actually collects this fee from all the house owners. We establish a database, and of course operators are resisting such an approach. At least one of the operators is quite reluctant, because it contradicts with their business interests sometimes. So we would like to have a situation where municipality collects the fees. Of course, we are not trying to compete with the private sector, and what we are aiming at is to pay to the operators not the amount that has been collected from the client, but rather we should pay for each ton of waste that has been disposed properly in the disposal plant, in order to avoid situations where the waste is simply dumped in the forest. So what we should focus on is the actual waste that has been disposed properly. And as the last item I would like to mention is to establish the ownership of the waste containers, so that the municipality is the actual owner. And in order to put this situation in order, and then to of course avoid situations where also corruption may take place, and those who fail to win such tenders or competitions, they sometimes try to create obstacles for the winners. So in order to avoid such struggles and fighting, we would like to be the owners of the containers, and otherwise so actually the operators would be in charge of maintaining them in good condition. However, the ownership still should be held by the municipality. So whatever is the operator, the clients may rely that the containers will be there. Of course, we will struggle towards implementing all these ideas I mentioned, and let's see how it goes in terms of negotiations with the operators, because they also have very good contacts among the state officials. So sometimes this fight gets quite dirty, and sometimes we are not able to cooperate productively. So what we would like to have is a simple and understandable system in place, and we truly hope that we will succeed in implementing such a system. Thank you very much. That would be all from me. So if you have any questions, I'm here for you. Thank you very much. And before you go on with the questions, actually, Eco Reverse is one of the operators who will present their technologies, and they will expand upon the different types of containers and how do we sort our waste and what type of waste can be sorted. So if you have some political issues rather than technical issues, then please, the floor is yours, and please approach our speaker. Yes, the Club of Environmental Protection. Good afternoon. I personally have had an experience, and also you. I actually would not like to ask the political issues, because I think that everything stems from the personal experience. Some year ago, I tried to sort my waste. I tried to burn the paper. Organic waste I put on my garden as a fertilizer, and of course I tried to sort the plastics, and I drove my car with this plastic waste with a dedicated dumping ground. And I actually have concluded a contract with one of the operators because they advertised such a service that we will be able to sort our waste. However, they said afterwards that, of course, you may sort them at your household, but afterwards they will be dumped at the normal dumping ground. So would it be a good idea actually to introduce differentiated tariffs for waste management, so that those who sort pay less, while those who do not sort their waste pay more for the services of collecting waste? And this would be a great initiative, because we all want to cut our costs. And secondly, how I, at the individual level, can contribute to the situation, because sometimes I don't have this feeling that actually I contribute, and I don't have such containers nearby my house. I have to go 3 to 4 kilometers away to sort my waste. Of course, these are very justified issues you just mentioned, and I will try to be as brief as possible. First of all, about the possibilities to sort the waste, and whether it's still dumped in the general dumping ground. Actually, probably there are cases where paper is put together with plastics, and afterwards they are resorted, because there are different procedures. If you can see that, for example, paper is put together with unsorted waste, then it is clear that no sorting would be possible in later stages. What we proposed actually was that Riga actually would collect some 10 million lats from all the households and other clients, and this money could be used for purchasing of the dedicated containers. And as you mentioned, your operator was very reluctant afterwards to actually provide the opportunity for sorting. Of course, we are talking about huge costs, but the municipality at that time had the political will and possibilities to deal with the situation. The operator would only be required to provide for actual logistics services. And of course, we also should have someone to deal with the sorted waste. Of course, we should have the next step, where the government should provide support to the reuse of such sorted waste. So, first of all, we should provide for the infrastructure for sorting, then the operators should provide for the logistics, and afterwards the government, of course, should provide support to the reuse or recycling of the sorted material.
But with the crisis, unfortunately, these all good deeds went to nothing, and that is bad that we have 5 operators at the moment. The price is low because of the competition, but the quality of services is far from ideal. And you can approach your own operator and you can say that you can pay for unseparated waste,